Welcome to this step-by-step tutorial on how to register custom applications in Oracle Enterprise Data Management Cloud. You register a custom application if you need to manage data for an external application for which there is no packaged application adapter. You can think of the custom application adapter as an open interface. The custom registration process creates an application and a default view. For each registered dimension, the registration process creates a viewpoint, the data chain objects used to define the viewpoint, and business validation rules. The data chain objects not only manage the data for you, but also apply rules to the data. Let's register a custom application. I'm logged on as a user with the Application Creator role. From the home page, navigate to Applications and click Register. I'll choose the Custom Application type, enter a name and optional description, and click Next and click Create. I'll add a dimension to the custom application. Enter the dimension name and an optional description. You can specify whether the dimension's nodes are a hierarchy or a list. I'll select Hierarchy. If the dimension allows shared nodes, select the Allow Shared Nodes checkbox. Shared Nodes lets you model the same node under different parents within the same hierarchy. Optionally, you can use the External Dimension Name text box to enter the name that the external application uses for the dimension. I'll leave this blank and click Next to display the node types for dimension page. I'll add a node type for the dimension. A dimension consists of nodes, relationships, and properties. Nodes in a dimension are classified by node types. I'll enter the node type name and an optional description. Optionally, you can enter a node type qualifier and specify the qualifier's position. A node type qualifier is a prefix that you define for a node type, which allows for unique node type naming. Qualifiers are used across applications when you compare nodes, display viewpoints side by side, and drag and drop from one viewpoint to another. I'll enter D_ as the prefix and click Next to open the Properties for Dimension Node Type page. The node name property is defined automatically. Nodes in a dimension can have properties such as a name or description. For each node type, you can define the properties you want to manage for nodes of that type in the dimension. You can create properties for the node type or select existing properties. I'll create a property. Select the property template that matches the type of data the property will contain. I'll select Custom String. Enter the property name and an optional description. You can use the property level drop-down list to specify whether the property applies to nodes or to relationships between nodes. I'll leave Node selected and click Next to display the Property for Dimension Node Type page. Here you can specify the parameters that apply to the property. The parameters displayed on the page depend on the property template you selected. I'll enter allowed values and the default value. You can also specify property usage information, such as the column header used when importing and exporting the property, and the sync direction to control whether the property can be imported, exported, or both. When you're done, click Next to return to the Properties for Dimension Node Type page, which displays the added property. When you're done adding properties for the node type, click Next to return to the Node Types for Dimension page, where you can add another node type. I'll add another node type for the dimension and click Next to open the Properties for Dimension Node Type page. For this node type, I'll select an existing property. From the list, you can select predefined system properties, properties defined in a different registered application, or properties you defined in this application registration. I'll select the property I defined for the node type I added earlier and click OK to display the new Property for Dimension Node Type page. I'll accept the defaults on this page and click Next to open the Property for Dimension Node Type page. You can modify the property settings or accept the defaults. Note: changes to settings here are at the application level, not the node type level. For example, changing the currency property settings here would change the currency property settings for both node types I created during this registration process. I'll accept the settings and click Next. You're returned to the Properties for Dimension Node Type page with the properties displayed. At this point, you can create or select additional properties for this node type. Note: different node types within an application can have different properties and a different number of properties. I'm finished adding properties, so I'll click Next. The Node Types for Dimension page displays the node types. I'm done adding node types to the dimension, so I'll click Next. You can use the Import and Export for Dimension page to define parameters for import and export. You can specify default node types for both bottom level and parent node types here to simplify import or export. Top Node Indicator is the value that indicates whether a node is a top node. In this example, the value is top node. For example, in this import file for Oracle Enterprise Planning and Budgeting Cloud, top node represents the top node for the department dimension. In this import file for Oracle Profitability and Cost Management Cloud, the top node indicator is blank. For explicit control within an import or export data file, you can designate node type columns within the file by checking these boxes and specifying column headers for each node type during registration. When you're done defining the dimension, click Next. The Add the Dimensions page displays again. You can repeat the steps to add other dimensions. When you're done adding dimensions, click Next to view the application summary. Click Apply. The application page opens with a confirmation that the data chain object creation completed successfully. The custom application is now available on the Applications page. You can now perform imports and exports, modify the registration, and so on. The registration process also generated the default view for the application with a viewpoint for the dimension. If you inspect the viewpoint, you can see the node types associated with the viewpoint, the properties, and the data chain objects. In this tutorial, you saw how to register custom applications in Oracle Enterprise Data Management Cloud. To learn more, visit cloud.oracle.com.